say good morning and Merry Christmas to Mr. Richard Akpokavie, GOC President. Good morning.
Good morning, Nathan.
How are you doing?
I'm well, long time.
Yes, long time. Merry Christmas.
Many happy returns, yeah.
Wonderful. How have the holidays been for you?
Well, so far, I've not been resting as much as I should, but, well, we're taking it in our stride. It's part of the work, so...
I see. Yeah. I see. Wonderful. You got into office in April. I think the election was what, 26th?
Yeah, 26th.
Of April.
So we actually got into the office in May.
In May?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been 6-7 months.
Yeah.
How has it been for you?
Oh, it's been good. It's been challenging. It's been, I don't know. I mean, challenging is a good word to use, but it's been exciting too, because you get opportunity to do a lot of things you've been talking about for some time. So it's been good. That's what I can say.
Wonderful. Interesting. Take us through 6 months. Let's focus on some of the things you've had to work on, some of your achievements, some of the things you've done, some of the biggest challenges you faced since you walked through the doors at the GOC as president. Now,
for us, I mean, when we're campaigning, some of the things I talked about was planning. And for me, strategic plan was important.
Okay.
So one of the first things we did was to go for a retreat in Koforidua, just to all the federations were there.
Okay.
And we just shared ideas, what you are doing, what you want us to do, and that kind of. So it was a good session. The Honorable Minister was there, the DG of NSA was there, at least for the first day, and so we had a good session. And God willing, on the 8th of January, we'll formally launch the strategic plan, which will set out the kind of things we want to do in the next 3 years, so to speak. So that is being good. Now, when we came into office, immediately there were things that we had to get involved in. The school games was in August. The Anoka Zone 3 games, then the African Youth Games. So that has been the challenging part of it, because you need to prepare athletes and for these games, and funding is always a problem. You know, this year, generally in this country, funding is a bit tight.
Okay.
But the ministry has been very supportive. For the Anoka school games, they managed to get us there. The youth games as well, they managed to get us there to take part. For the school games, we were about 40 athletes or so. For this Anoka youth games, about the same number, a little above that. So that is a good thing. And these are young people between the ages of 14 and 17. Okay. So good opportunity for them to taste international competition, see that, look, the things we are doing here, we can do better. but the joy about it is that we want medals. Okay. I mean, how many you know? For the school games, for instance, we won gold medals in badminton. We won silver medal in boxing. 2 bronze medals as well in boxing. We won silver medals and bronze medals in athletics. We won in karate, the bronze medal in karate. Okay, that's interesting. So for me, that usually we get medals in athletics and boxing. Yes, that's not anything surprising. So when we won medal in karate, and for these youth games, we won again badminton. We won gold medals. We won medals in a gold medal in boxing as well. Yeah, a silver medal in boxing. We won and then for. We won a medal in golf. I see. We won a bronze medal in golf. Okay. We won a medal in canoeing. So for me, the good thing is that we've tried to give the opportunity to as many federations as possible who are prepared to go for this competition. So we've realized that, look, we can diversify a bit, be focused on specific sports that can give us medals. And that has been the experience that we've had so far. The challenge is the financing, because we need to prepare the athletes better. Okay. And as you know, at that level, it's not just try and error. Yeah. You need to get the athletes prepared. Yeah. Otherwise, you are not helping the athletes. So for me, the greatest thing we need to work on is to ensure that we prepare the athletes properly. That involves support medically, support technically in terms of coaching, and then even nutrition. So that they are able to focus, and those are the things we are working on and try to make sure that this 2026, we have major things in 2026. Okay. We are able to get the athletes prepared properly.
From the events that you mentioned, you know, all these medals, what was the biggest eye-opener for you, or maybe for the GOC? What was the biggest takeaway, just looking at how Ghana performed in all these events that you've mentioned?
That would be the fact that even for sports that traditionally we don't win medals, when the athletes were given the opportunity, they won medals at the continental level. That is a huge achievement. And it just tells us that even as we prioritize the sports that traditionally give us medals, boxing, athletics, we should also not forget that the other sports that we can also get medals, and we should see how we can prepare those. Luckily for us, for most of these sports, they are not team sports per se. So you don't have to prepare a large number. You prepare individuals. You can take 2-3 people from these sports and then prepare them adequately. That does not mean that we are not doing well in the team sports as well. If you look this year, we've done well. Rugby has done well. We won the under 15, under 12. That's a good thing for the continent.
Yeah.
Hockey went to Egypt. The ladies won a silver, African silver medal. That's the AFCON for hockey.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge task. I mean, that means they're number 2 in Africa.
Yeah.
The men were number 4. You get me? Other sports, baseball, the juniors, we are tops in Africa.
Okay.
I mean, the team sport itself. But look, it just tells us that even as we categorize the sport and prioritize them, we should not forget that the other sports that with a little support can also become category A sports and can get to the very top. So we should keep our eye on all the sports, even as we prioritize those that traditionally have been doing well.
Quite interesting. The golf and karate story, the golf and karate stories fascinate me. So tell me a bit about the golf story. I because to find a Ghanaian or somebody who's interested in golf at that age is a very fascinating one. How did that come about, and what's the plan to have a lot more of these young golfers representing the country?
You know, golf has a very good program for young people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you follow golf, you realize that they have a program for young people.
Yeah.
So they do well, and then they have support from the international body to promote that kind of thing. So they have a lot of young people who are. What with golf? What happens is that a lot of people think golf, because of the history of golf, golf is for the elites in the society. Yes, it's true. A lot of people play at that level, but a lot of young people who play golf who really come from ordinary backgrounds, but have been introduced to golf and are doing well. So the idea, what golf has been doing is that they've been helping these young people, exposing them.
Okay.
So when the opportunity came for this, and we had to choose sports that could represent Ghana, we gave them an opportunity because we believe that they could make an impact. And true to that, they made an impact. So it just tells us that all the federations, if they have proper development programs for the young people, then we give them opportunity, we'll be able to develop the various sports. So it's important that the federations work on the development programs. You know, in sports, there are 2 main things: the elite sports, the elite athletes, and the development.
Yeah.
So the elite athletes are just those at the very top. But you must have a program such that from early ages, even from as early as 10 years, you have a development program which supports young people up to 2021 when they get into the elite category. So for the federations that are doing that, they are doing very well. And I think we should support them. But the truth of the matter is that they need support, because it's expensive to do that kind of thing, because you need to go to as many regions as you can, as many districts as you can. You need to get equipment to cover all these people, and that's not cheap. So that is really where we need to work on.
You spoke about the strategic plan for 2026. We'll get to that in a bit. But in the interim, once you got into office and you had to deal with clear and present issues, really, what plans did you come to meet any plans that were in motion that you had to use to get teams going to all the events you spoke about, the youth games and all of that?
Unfortunately, no, there was no plan. But so when we met, we decided, look, these are the things that are going to take. So what do we do? So we agreed that for every international competition, we had to participate. Because you see, when you miss an international competition, you are missing an opportunity for athletes to compete at the very top.
Okay.
Look, it's not enough to train. You can train and train for 6 months if you don't have competition. You are not going to get there. And the competition is not just, I mean, you know, in the past, what we used to do in Ghana is that you train out there, you meet a local team, and then play. It's good. It's part of the preparation.
Yeah.
But if you really want to test your players, you must compete in a competitive atmosphere.
Okay.
So it is important that we did that. It was important that we did that. So our plan was to make sure that we get sufficient funding to support. So in our engagement with the ministry, the minister understood this and also supported us. And then we had to use some of our own resources to get them to camp, to get them to train, to get them to support them with equipment, uniforms and things, so that they'll be able to compete in these championships.
Quite interesting. Let's talk about before the election. I remember as candidates went round and all of that, there was one thing that stayed with me. And even I remember I did a show a few weeks ago, and one caller called in to talk about the GOC's project at Amasaman, the stadium. What's the status of that project? Where are we? Are we close to seeing completion? What's the update?
We have a small committee in place which is working on Amasaman specifically. Now, I took the whole board to Amasaman.
Okay.
So that they would see
the entire GOC board.
The entire GOC board.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of talk about it. Some people have not even been there. So I said, look, let's go and see what is there. So we went and saw what is on the ground. Then we put in place a committee. And look, this is what is on the ground. How do we get the place? Now, we have options. Because what the Olymp Africa gave us was $100,000. Not to complete the project.
Okay.
But to start the project.
Okay. So this was at the very beginning?
At the very beginning, to start the project. Now, our commitment was to raise counterpart funding to be able to complete the project.
Yeah.
That is what we undertook to do as a GOC. Now, we used to have a clear plan for what we want to do. So what we are doing now, and because of the investment infrastructure, it's not easy to come from just GOC coffers. We need an arrangement of a sort. So the committee is looking at the various options. One, we are looking at what is on the ground, assessing what is on the ground, getting AESL to value what is there, look at the plan we have, how we can implement the plan, and the costing for the plan. And then with that, we are able to get funding. My commitment is that by the time we leave office, that place would be used. Look, the whole idea of Olymp Africa, it's not an elite or a top-level stadium. No. It is supposed to be sporting facilities for community sports. So the idea is to get sporting facilities in place in Amasaman for the community there, those there, to have access to a place where they want to play sports. So it can be handball, ball, whatever sports you want to get there. But the whole idea, that is the idea. Sometimes people get the wrong impressions, even as if we are building an Olympic-sized stadium. And no, it is a community sporting facility for the benefit of the community, which will be run by us with the support of the community. So we are working towards that, and hopefully this year we'll continue from where, and then hopefully in the next 2-3 years would have completed. So our commitment is to make sure that we do that.
And in terms of funding, what's the grand plan? Will Olymp Africa provide some more funding, or now it's incumbent on the GOC to find money to complete the project?
Now it's incumbent on the GOC to find money.
Okay.
If we're able to do that, and Olymp Africa sees that there is progress, then we may apply, and they may consider giving us more money. So right now, it is our responsibility to find more money to be able to take this project forward.
I see. What are your thoughts on the freshly minted sports bill, sports fund bill? Sorry, we've been speaking a lot about it, and you've mentioned it a number of times in your answers to my questions. Just your thoughts on that, its potential, and how you think we should operate, or how we should operate, so we all benefit as a country.
There's no doubt that we need a sports funding regime in this country. Without that, we'll be where we are. We'll continue to. There's no country in the world, you know this, Nathan, that funds sports through the consolidated fund or through government funding alone. It's not possible. So there's, I mean, since 2011, we have provided GOC, as a GOC, has written to the ministry about funding and given ideas about how to get it in place. So, so I am extremely excited that this time round, because you know we've talked about it.
Oh yes.
I mean, there have been drafts, various drafts over the years. So it's, for me, I'm only excited that it is now in place, that there's a funding regime. That is number one. So that is not in doubt. It's indisputable that we need one. Now, the second thing is that the sources of the funds. It's critical because, look, we have experiences in this country. We have a GET fund, right?
Yeah.
We have the insurance, health insurance. We have all these things. It is important that this fund is separated from the consolidated fund in the sense that it is a fund, there are trustees, and the draft I have seen, I think I saw that in it, so that's good. So that you don't need for the money to go to the consolidated fund before it is transferred to this thing. I mean, how it will be done, I don't know yet, but that's the idea. Now, the most critical thing is that if you look at the bill, it is for infrastructure and sports, for athlete support and all those. So it's wide. Infrastructure alone can swallow all the money and we will not get anywhere. So it is important that if we want to get a benefit of the funding, the regulations are very clear about how much of it can go to infrastructure. Because for all the countries that have sports fund, what happens is that the government still funds infrastructure in other ways.
Okay.
You cannot use the fund to fund, for instance, the construction of a stadium. I mean, that means all the money is gone. I think that the focus of the fund should be support of athletes' preparation, development, identification, development, preparation for international competition. That should be the focus of the fund. If we're able to do that, then we'll get results. Because look, typical example, we have the World Championships, athletics.
In Japan.
In Japan. Traditionally, it is the sprints, the relay team that has been doing well in this. They qualified. Now, the sprint team, I think over the last 2-3 years, they've dropped their baton in 2 or 3 competitions. So when we engage with the Ghana Athletics, we say, look, you guys, this is a problem. I mean, because, and they told us that it's a problem because they don't have enough campaign time. They don't have, they need to be there together for some time. So we say, look, we'll challenge you. We'll fund that for you as the GOC. We'll fund that. Get you to put the team, 7-8 sprinters in camp. And we agreed. And they put them in camp. And we paid for that. So for the period that they were in camp, they trained together, ate together. The bonding was clear. And if you check the performance of the athletes, in terms of the relay, I mean, there was no issue about baton. Just because we're able to do that for one session. So if we're able to do this 3-4 times a year, when they get together to do that 3-4 times a year, and the fund is guaranteed, they don't think about it. So that in 2026, they know that there are 4 opportunities to come. They tell us when. So the fund just pays for that. You see the difference to make in the sprint. We almost got a bronze medal. We missed the bronze medal. And we broke the national record easily. In fact, we broke the national record in both the heats and the
finals.
I mean, so it just tells you that, look, we need to be a little focused and prepare our athletes. Look, right now we got some support from the IOC, which is Olympic funding for some athletes. So there are 2 athletes, one from Taekwondo and one from Judo. So we came to an agreement with the IOC that, look, for the next 3-4 years leading to the Olympics, these are athletes we think can compete and qualify for them. So what do? We've agreed that they will be put in camps. The Taekwondo athlete will be in Germany, and the judo athlete will be in France. A camp, a training camp. So if you recall, that was the same thing that was done for Margaret Simpson when she was in Mauritius. That is the idea. So they'll be there. So for the next 3 years, they will be under a different regime. Camping, all they'll be doing is preparing training
for the Olympics
and that kind of thing. You need to be intentional about these things so that you know that you are getting somebody preparing an athlete. Look, we need to give the athlete the best opportunity to compete at the highest level so that when he doesn't do well, you know you've done your best. When he also does well, you know you've contributed your part. That's why for me the funding is important, because we want to tell a story that this athlete started in 2025 at this level, but because of funding from government or from a particular partner or sponsor or whatever, in 2028, this is where he's got into. Even if that person doesn't win a medal, and there are limited medals at the Olympics, but gets to the final, that is a huge achievement. That means that with more effort, we can get there. So that's the whole idea. So the funding thing is critical. But as you said, the real issue is how we do it. And one thing that we must do is that we must categorize sports.
Okay.
I mean,
so you're also a firm believer in the categorization.
There's no running away from it. You cannot give the same funding for everybody because there are different sports, different levels, different results have come in. So you use the results, use the patronage, you use what they bring in, you use all kinds of metrics. I mean, this thing is not, UK Sports does it.
Yeah.
I mean, for every 4 years. After Paris, they distributed for the 4 years for all the sports, and they know what they'll get. And so it's easy. Once you do that, you know that you are sure. And I would prefer that this is not done yearly.
Okay.
You do it quadrennial.
So every 4 years.
Only that the releases are as and when. But you plan, you tell athletics, what is your program for the next 4 years? I need your program for the next 4 years, leading up to the next Olympics. Then I see your program. You have African Championships, you have this, you have that, you have this, you have that. Okay. Now, look at all this. What's your budget? You give your budget. Okay, I can do 50% or 60%. So I'm telling you, Ghana Athletics, that you are guaranteed $1 million for the next 4 years.
Okay.
Guaranteed. But every year, you apply for the releases, and we give you KPIs, as it were.
Okay.
If you achieve your targets, would it trigger the following year?
Oh,
even if you don't achieve, but you can give us good reason why you were not able to achieve, we'll still give you your this thing forever. So that Ghana Athletics knows that they have the money, so that when they are planning, they can plan. They don't wait till 2 months or 3 months, and they write to the Ministry of Sports that, please, we are going for this competition. No. That is this thing that will work. When we do it that way, then we are really helping the athletes to get to the very top.
So you say categorization is key. And then you tie the funding to achievements, performance, results, KPIs. But to access the fund, do you also believe in justification? Because in some jurisdictions, for example, to access the fund, you have to explain why and provide reasons why you deserve, say, $500,000 or $200,000 or whatever amount. Or for you think the distribution should be done first, and then whether or not you get another round depends on what you do with the money.
No. Every sport is different. And so if you are going to do distribution without listening to the sports about their needs and why they need, then you will not be fair in distribution.
Okay.
So it's important that, look, hockey,
the voice of sports.
we are preparing for the Olympics. The hockey ladies team is number 2 in Africa. If we win the African Championships in 2027, we will qualify directly for the Olympics.
Okay.
So for us, qualifying for the Olympics means we need to win the African
Championship.
So we are preparing for the African Championships. And we are number 2. So we can't get to number 1 if we prepare properly.
Yeah.
So we need coaching assistants. We need campaign. We need competition.
Yeah.
So our plan is that we'll have 2 competitions. We'll go to South Africa 1 and play a test series with them, and go to Ireland or Italy or wherever and play another test competition with them. So those 2 competitions, we need funding for it. It will cost us so much for air tickets, for accommodation, for per diem, etc., etc.
Yeah.
We need to camp in total maybe 16 weeks in the year, and for each week, this is how much it will cost. So this is how much it is. So you do that, and then say that this is what you need. So clearly, you are telling the those funding what you require the money for, and why you require the money. Therefore, they should look at it, and if they want us to qualify, then they will do the necessary thing and do the fund, and that's how it works. So when after the African Games, we win, then the next thing comes. Then we are preparing for the Olympics. So we need to get the funding for the Olympic. If we don't win, but we do well enough, and you are satisfied with our performance, because, for instance, we lose by 1-0 or we go for a draw, there's a penalty, some whatever. But we still get to that. They realize that, okay, we are doing well. So the funding needs to be sustained, because you can't suspend funding just because we don't achieve all our targets. So we need to sustain the funding for that period. So it is critical that you justify why you need the money, and so that they look at why you need the money and see whether it is worth investing in that. Because funding is limited. If it were, there was no limit. You could just give everybody, get 1 million everybody, and see what you do with it. But that's how it should work.
So okay, so now I understand why, of course, the categorization comes in, because limited resources, you can't spread it thin all around. So you need to vary who gets what. In 2026, what are the big things for the GOC? You did talk about the strategic plan, which is
8th January.
So that comes out. But in terms of the full year, what are some of the big things you want to do?
Commonwealth Games next year. Youth Olympics next year. Those are the two major things that, of course, there's also Anoka Zone 3 Games, which is West Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Niger, I think Sierra Leone. I mean, we have a games that we do yearly as well. But the major one,
Commonwealth Games,
Youth Olympics.
Okay.
That is.
And what are the broad plans? What do you want? What preparatory steps are you taking as the GOC?
Now, for the Youth Olympics, we are waiting for allocation. The Youth Olympics this year has changed a bit.
Okay.
I mean, as of now, we don't know which sport is going to. No country knows, in fact.
I see.
We've all submitted what we think we should, what the sports we want to participate in.
Okay.
Now, the IOC and the international federations are looking at all the requests that have come, and then they will allocate, okay, even though you want to participate in 12 sports, we can't give it also because there are limited numbers. So, international federation will be telling the IOC that, look, these people, they are African champions in A, B, C, D. So it will be good to give them that opportunity to participate in that. So in March, April, we will get to know the sports we are really good, and the numbers for athletics, for boxing, for whatever. So what we intend to do after that is to get these people, when they are young people, get them, look at, most of them will be in school or just finishing school or something.
Okay.
So the idea is
senior high school.
Senior high school.
Okay.
Senior high school. The idea is to get them ready, start getting them ready. Once we know that, from May, we'll start getting them ready for the Youth Olympics. For the Commonwealth Games, it's a bit different. Commonwealth Games next year will be scaled down. I mean, because of, we didn't have a host for the 2026 Commonwealth Games. And Scotland stepped in. And the agreement with the Commonwealth Games Federation was that because they are stepping in late, of course Australia withdrew, we can't do everything. So limited number of sports. So we'll be participating in athletics, boxing, swimming, para-athletics, para-swimming. If we qualify in weightlifting, we'll also participate in that. So those are the things that we have. So for us, there are two main sports really from that list that we are athletics and para-athletics and boxing.
And boxing, okay.
And then swimming and para-swimming. So for the boxers, we have had engagement with them. Early next year, we want to have a list of their full list of boxers.
Okay.
They want to have a championships to determine. The amateur boxing, a lot of people have left, gone to
they've gone pro
and that kind of thing. So we want to have their list. So from next year, from about February, we are trying to get them start preparing. Some of them, when we are working with Ireland or Northern Ireland, Scotland, a few other countries, to take them there, to come them there for some time, get support for them in terms of coaching and everything. So boxing, we have a plan to get them, because if we do well, boxing is one of the things that will get medals.
But do you think it will be adequate, the preparatory time for the Commonwealth Games?
Ideally, we should have started.
Okay.
This year. So by now we have a team. But the boxing fraternity has had its own challenges, and therefore they don't have a standing team for some time. Luckily, they've had a few competitions here and there, but we still need a full complement of the team.
Okay.
So that when we are training, the full complement of the team is training. So we've asked them to, as it were, push this as fast as they can so that we can get them at least if we get them for 6-7 months, focus on training, we'll be able to get some results from that. Athletics are already doing what they have to do. Luckily for us, they have the African Championships in May this year in Ghana.
Yeah.
And from that, we'll get the team, which will prepare. The only unfortunate part is that in May, we may not get all the athletes to come and compete.
Okay, how so?
Because the American universities will be in session.
Ah, okay.
So those athletes that are still in school
will not be able to.
May not be able to.
Okay, they may not be able to.
Because they may even be in their athletic season, because that's the time they also have their NAA and whatever it is that they have, national championships and things. So that's the problem with that. And originally, the idea was to have it in June, but because of the World Cup, they had to bring it to May. Yeah. Because if it was in June, then immediately after that, we'll lead into the Commonwealth Games. Yes. So it means that between the African Championships and the Commonwealth Games, we need to find ways and means of getting them preparing for the Commonwealth Games. So we have plus the swimmers, we are also working on that. The para-athletes and para-swimmers, we are working on that as well. Once they qualify, we get them to prepare, not only in Ghana, but outside Ghana as well.
Are there any targets for the Commonwealth Games?
Not yet, but we hope to get targets because we are looking at the Commonwealth Games. They are open allocations and then they are qualifying events. The only open allocations are in athletics and boxing. That's open, we choose. But there are qualifiers. Unless you qualify, you won't go take part.
Okay.
Like the para athletics and para swimming and that kind of thing. So once we get a full list of those who are going, we'll put some targets in place. Definitely, look, over the years, two sports have won more medals than Indian sports.
Athletics and boxing.
I mean, and boxing is number one in terms of Commonwealth Games or Olympics. Yes, so we've given them, we hope to give them targets. Because the last time we won medals in boxing, silver and bronze, we want to make sure that we do better than that. So we expect at least to give boxing the opportunity to win a gold medal for us, and athletics as well. Because we are the relay team. There's no reason why we shouldn't give them a target to win a gold medal.
Yeah.
If they do their things well, they should be able to compete for a gold medal. So we are working on that as well.
We talked about the youth games. It's taking me to it's taking my mind to school sports. What role does the GOC play in the organization, structuring, running of school sports, and what plans are there, if there are any, for scaling school sports? This year recovered Intercore. It was fun, people liked it, but lots of people say that, okay, after Intercore, then what happens to these athletes we find at that level?
And that is a problem, and unfortunately we are not directly involved in school sports.
Okay.
Now the good thing, however, is that the government has a plan, which is the School Sports Authority. And now, a coordinator has been appointed.
Yeah.
And we have had conversations with the coordinator. And the whole idea is to fill in the gap that you're talking about. We don't have data on these athletes from basic school to tertiary level. So the idea is to get the School Sports Authority with their coordinator to give data, to have data from basic level, secondary school, and tertiary level. With that data, we are going to be working with the School Sports Authority, because if we do not work with them and do not get our federations to work with them, then they get lost. So for instance, if we are doing interco athletics, it's not enough for the GES to just run interco. It's not helpful.
Okay.
The Ghana Athletics Association must be involved.
Yeah.
So that the database is there. So when these people compete, Ghana Athletics takes these young people from that level and then helps them along the path for junior competitions leading up to senior competitions. So the idea is to work with the School Sports Authority to make sure that we fill that gap. We take the athletes and help the federations to help them to develop and then get them to the elite level so that we can get a seamless transition from school, basic school, high school, tertiary, those who get to tertiary, and then to the federations to perform at the international level.
I'm assuming that your tenure of office may probably coincide with the next Olympics, I think?
Yes, 2028.
2028. I know it's some time away, but every now and again we have to think about that.
Not every now and again.
All the time. All the time we think about LA 2028. Broadly, so what are we doing? What steps are we taking to ensure that come LA 2028 we'll send a strong contingent and we'll be able to get some very, very good outcomes from Los Angeles?
All that we are doing now is part of the plan. One, the strategic plan is one. Two, all the actions we've been taking in respect of participating in this young youth tournament. And then we are using the Commonwealth Games as a test.
Okay.
And see how far we've gotten to. Because if you do well at the Commonwealth Games, you know that even though the Commonwealth Games doesn't cover all the countries, you know that you are working towards the Olympics. It's halfway to the Olympics.
Yeah.
So from the Commonwealth Games, you have clear this. Look, the athletics, boxing, you have to qualify. You have to make a certain mark to qualify. So we'll be working with the Ghana Athletics to make sure they have the world relays this year.
Yeah.
The idea is to make sure that we qualify. If we qualify with world relays, you help you for the World Championship. And then it means that you know early enough that you are qualifying for the Olympics. You've already qualified. Then you know you are preparing for the Olympics. Because once you know you're qualified, the preparation is specific, working towards the Olympics.
Yeah.
So we are working with the Ghana Athletics, Ghana Boxing, all the other federations that have potential to qualify. The judo athlete I talked about, the taekwondo athlete I talked about, the swimming association, all of them. We've even had discussions. I've talked that we are also going to discuss with the GFA. It's important, Nathan. The Metros haven't qualified for the Olympics
since 2004.
Yes, and that's a long time. What can we do? It's GFA's responsibility, but what can we do as a GOC to help to make sure that the Metros qualify? So we are having conversations with them to see what we can do, how we can support. Maybe we can get extra funding for some other aspect of it. Maybe we can support them in ways that we don't know yet.
Okay.
But for us, it is critical that we qualify. The team sports that can't qualify are football, rugby, baseball, and hockey.
So these football, rugby, baseball, hockey. So that's four.
That's four. Rugby is more difficult because of the structure of rugby. I mean, the qualifications is such that you have to be at a certain level before you even get the opportunity to, so that the South Africans, the
Australians, the New Zealanders, all of those things.
So that's more difficult. Baseball is also a bit difficult. Hockey, all you need to do is win one competition. That's what I was talking about.
The
African
Championships. If you win that
automatically
you have your ticket.
You have your ticket. That's it. Okay. And that's in 2027.
So does that mean that the continent is represented by only the winner?
Only the winner automatically. The other ones have to go through a qualifying series, which is more difficult because that one brings everybody in the world who didn't qualify automatically. And that's more difficult. So that gives us opportunity. So the idea is to make sure that we prepare the athletes properly. Because I always say that it is not helpful if we get sponsors or partners who come and promise us that if you win a medal, you get $10,000 or $50,000, or government saying that. I say, give me that money today and don't give me any money if I win a medal. Give me that money today so that I can assure the athlete that for your camping for the next 3 years, don't worry about where you sleep, the tickets, flight tickets that you need, and then the competitions that you do. I'll pay for all that. So that I can tell the athlete that in 2026, you have 4 competitions. So that we can tell Azamati, Joe Paul, and Samino that if you want to go for any competition in don't worry. We'll give you an ticket. We'll pay for your accommodation. And we'll give you some small money to support you. If you have medical issues, we'll cover the medical issues. So they know that they are entitled, they will get that. So when he's not hustling to go and run at an event which will not who is not helpful, but we to give him maybe some money to help, sustain, life, that kind of thing. It is important that we do that. If we are able to do, and that's the plan, the discussion I've been having with the Ghana Athletics, that look, we are looking for partners, and hopefully this year we'll be announcing those who are going to partner us in that kind of thing. Already we've got some support for them from the IOC, so that each of them, these sprinters, who each has some amount of money, I think $500, $750 a month to support them in terms of the kind of thing. But we need to do it properly so that these top athletes get the opportunity. So that Samini knows that he's a top in Ghana now. If he's able, and he's broken the 9.84. So if he's able to do that at the Olympic Games, he'll get a medal.
Yeah, if you're doing sub 10, anything sub 10 in the Olympics is a good time.
It's a good time. And if you're able to do it consistently, you get to the final, worst case scenario. And be able to get a medal even if you do better than that. So we want to assure you, and you need to compete more. At that level, the confidence, you need to compete with the same people that you meet there several times. So that when you see the guy standing next to you, you are not frightened. You are still confident that you can perform at that level. So we need to support them from now to that. So that's the whole idea. To get funding from the sports fund, to get funding from private sector, and we are looking for partners for the 3 years, not sponsors, one-off thing. Partners, and we are talking to a few of them.
I see. And then it looks like the journey to LA has already begun. We are already taking baby steps towards LA.
Definitely.
Finally, let's talk about your mother mother body, hockey. What will hockey be doing in 2026?
This January, they are going for the club championships, which is in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
And the club championships, our ladies, GRA are the African champions.
Yes.
They are going again, and God willing, they will bring the trophy. And if they do that, that will be the 5th time or so. But you see, all these are things that show that the potential is there.
Yes.
And that we should, with targeted support, they should be able to cross the bridge and get to the top in Africa. South Africa is our only hindrance, so to speak, if I may use that word. So we can get there. So we need to do that. Now, this year, it's also, we have an under 18 championship, which hockey fives and that kind of thing. Also, the FIH is making available hockey turfs to countries that are prepared to have them and are prepared to pay the cost of bringing them in. But the turf itself is free.
Okay.
So there's a discussion as to get 2 or 3 to place them in schools, like Adisco, for instance, has won the schools championships. If they are prepared to, we can get support from old Santa Clausians and a few people of government to lay the turf. Why not? And if Prempeh is also a school that does a lot in hockey, if we can also get them to do that, then we are getting schools to do that. So Achimota wants to do it, we give them an opportunity, and then they do it. So those are the 2 things that are happening this year.
Okay.
But they need to prepare also for the African Championships 2027. So that has to start now.
Speaking of turfs, the national hockey pitch, the Theodosius Akpokavie hockey pitch, it's not looking great. What's the plan to upgrade? Because when I remember when it first came up, it was great, but over time, it's deteriorated. What's the plan to revamp?
Since 2009,
so it's 16 years.
16 years. I mean,
almost 17.
For any facility,
16 years.
16 years. Yes. It needs to be, and it's a case we are making to government that they should look at it. First of all, we need to look at the turf itself.
Okay.
Because it needs to be rehabilitated and certified. Because if it is certified by the International Hockey Federation, what it will mean is that we can host tournaments here.
Oh, okay.
And we can host a tournament. It's a plus, because when you can host a tournament, it means that you are bringing people here, and then the cost is also within limits. You can really do it such a way that you get competition. And you can have not only even competition, you can even invite, look, a lot of countries from Europe look for places to play hockey during the winter.
Of course. It gets cold. Turfs are frozen.
So they go to all kinds of places. In Spain, for instance, they go to Valencia, places where it's a bit hot, warm, and they go to South Africa. They can come to Ghana. And we have everything else that around the stadium. There are hotels that are top class that they can use and that kind of. So all we need is a turf. So it's something that we are selling, and we are hoping that we are able to do that. As for the other stuff like the washrooms, that's not really much. I mean, with a little effort, that can be done. What we need to do is work on the lights as well, and then the scoreboard, and then we're able to do that. So it's something that we are doing. We are talking to the NSA about it, and that so as part of the plan, it will be factored in, and as and when money is available, we can deal with some of these things.
Final words from you, Mr. Akpokavie, as we head into 2026. What would you want the sports fan listening to us to know about the GOC, and what should the sports fan expect by December 2026?
Look, our whole agenda is to make sports better, and our whole agenda is to focus on athletes. Our first strategic plan, number one priority, is that athletes will be at the center of every single decision we take. They must be topmost priority. So anything and everything that we can do to make the athletes get the best opportunity to compete at the highest level, we'll do that. Now, for me, for the Ghanaian public, we need support in any kind of way. Even if, I mean, it doesn't have to be financial alone. When the athletes are competing, come support them, because they need that support. It's confidence boosting. We need that kind of help. With the corporate world, what we need partners. Look, the GOC is transparent, accountable. We are prepared to work with partners who want to deal with sports. And we can assure them that, look, when we say partnership, it's a partnership. We don't want the money in our coffers. We don't need the money in our coffers. All we need is an agreement and a commitment that when we do A, B, C, D, E, the money will be available to pay for these things. That's all we need. When we have that commitment from you, the corporate partner, we are prepared to work with you. And we like to tell a story with that partnership, so that when we start from January 2026 as partners, we like to tell the whole world that every year this is what we have achieved. And at come 2028 at the Olympic Games, the story will come full circle, and that you as a partner will be able to tell the world that we started this journey with them, and this is where we have reached. And that's a story worth telling. So we want everybody on board, and rest assured, with you, the media as well, we want you on board. Where you need to criticize us, do so. Direct us. It's I don't call it criticism because it's a negative word. I like feedback. Feedback is positive, feedback is negative. When your wife tells you you're looking fine today when you're going out, it's good to hear. When you're going out tomorrow and he says, this shirt here, I beg you, change it. It's feedback.
It's feedback
you must also take that one too. So for me, that's not a problem. The important thing is that we have a plan, which is a strategic plan. We are launching on the 8th of January. We want everybody, after the plan is launched, we'll share it, you all get involved. And then take the plan, and where you think we can do better, point us in the right direction. Where we think we are not doing as well as we should, point us in that direction as well, so that we'll be able to together, so that when, at the end of the year, we can say that after the first year, Commonwealth Games, Youth Olympics, this is how far we've come. And then we can tell a story. And we know that we're on the right path, and therefore we should just go ahead and do more so that we can all achieve what we look. Sports brings such joy to this country.
It does.
I mean, look at the World Cup, just the qualifying. I mean, the excitement was massive. The World Athletics Championships, when we did so well, I mean, the whole country was abuzz. That's what sports can do. So please, let's all come on board to get this going.
Thank you, Mr. Richard Akpokavie. He's president of the Ghana Olympic Committee. He's dropped a very important piece of information. On the 8th of January, the strategic plan will be launched. So we'll all follow up on that, get copies. And you see, the reason why I like those things, that they are like signposts. So you can look at the plan and match that to concrete actions on the ground. And then you can follow step by step. So you can get the fuller picture and get a broader understanding of how things are done. Mr. Akpokavie, thank you so much for passing through.
Thank you, Nathan.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a wonderful 2026.
Yes. We hope that 2026 will be a good sporting year.
Yes.
There's so many sporting activities next year, so we hope that everything.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.